good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please welcome my guest from Canada. Her name is Cathy Nesbitt. She's a worm advocate and founder of Cathy's Crawly Composters. Composters?
Composters. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I should have practiced that before we started recording. That's all right. You know, this is real life. We screw up, we make mistakes, we just keep moving forward. But Cathy, thank you so much for joining me today and willing to share what you do with the audience. I think what you do is very valuable. And as usual, you guys, Cathy and Athena are making some noise. Yeah, can you tell the audience like what you do, because it's very detrimental to our environment.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me as a guest, Dan. I appreciate it. Label free, it's perfect. So I am a worm advocate. So my goal is to put worms in every living space. It's indoor composting. So the same as outdoor composting, except done inside with worms. And these are special worms, red wigglers, and they convert food scraps and paper and turn it into nature's finest soil amendment so we can grow more nutrient-rich food.
That's very cool. So for someone like me that lives in a townhouse, how would I use those for my like way of living?
Yeah, so I have a wonderful system that's designed for people that don't have outdoor space for doing composter, like condos, townhouses, office towers. I mean, not that we're working so much in person right now. Right. But so for anywhere that doesn't have space for outdoor composting, it's a perfect way to manage some of your scraps.
Yeah.
And then you take, the material that's created, the compost, that can be used on your house plants, or you can use it in your garden outside to grow more nutrient-rich vegetables.
That's very cool. So what made you start? How long have you been doing this for?
19 years. I started in 2002. And here's a little bit, since you're in the States and I'm in Canada. So I'm located near Toronto, and in 2002, our landfill closed. And when the landfill for the largest city in a country closes, it's a problem, a big smelly problem. So although Canada is a large country, we couldn't find a place to site a new landfill, and we started shipping garbage to the US. And at the beginning, almost 200 garbage trucks were making the way every day, Monday to Friday, from Toronto to Michigan.
Wow.
I mean, Ontario to Michigan, I guess, if I'm going to say the same state to a province.
That's insane.
Can you imagine? Oh my, like 1,000 trucks a week.
Yeah. So I have a quick question. And I know you told me some of this before when we first connected, and I found it very interesting. That's why I wanted to share what you do, because I think it's necessary for people to know they have options to help reduce their waste. So did the U.S. made a deal? Why did Canada close that landfill? Why?
It filled up. It filled up. Right. You start with a hole when the landfill is a pit. Right. And then as you dump all your garbage in, it eventually fills up. And so that's what happened in 2002. It filled up. No more space. Now it's a ski hill. Not really. No, not really.
Well, I mean, at least you could be repurposing. I don't know.
Okay, so it fills up, and then we didn't have anywhere to put it. So how did it come to the States? It's business. It's just business. Right. So we had a product, garbage. The Michigan has a big landfill that they needed space to fill, or whatever they wanted content. So it was an exchange. A lot of money. We're paying. Canadians are paying a lot of money to pick up garbage.
I was going to ask that. Like, what does that do to your cost of living? That has to go up if they're transporting, because there's like with the customs and all that stuff. There's a cost involved when you have to cross the border.
And you're creating garbage on an ongoing basis. So they need to come up with solutions very fast. And so that's what happened. Now it's not happening anymore. We did find a landfill.
You did? Oh, that's good.
But it was just so what I'm doing, when I heard that we were shipping garbage, I was like, I have a solution. It's indoor composting.
Yes.
So in 2002, there was a garbage strike in Toronto. In the summer, of course, right? Why have it in the winter? Right? And so I was watching the news, and people were lining up for hours to drop their garbage at the landfill. And I was like, those people don't compost.
Yeah.
Because if you compost, it takes the stink out of garbage, right? You're managing the smelly garbage. And then your recyclables and the other, paper and whatever, they don't smell. That doesn't smell. So you wouldn't care how long the strike was.
Yeah.
So I decided to go on a road trip and to educate people. I wanted to find out why people don't compost. So I had a series of questions. And I went to a transfer station where there was about 80 picketers, and they were angry. They were angry that I was there trying to offer a solution, maybe taking their jobs.
Yeah.
Right down the road, if everybody composts, we won't need to truck all that garbage around.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a long way away. We're a ways away from that.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was just, and because of that, I ended up.
Can I ask you, what were the questions that you asked why people weren't composting?
I asked them, do you compost? Why not was my second one, because you wouldn't line up for 3 hours to drop off your garbage if you didn't need to.
Right. And what was their answer to that?
So the answer was no. And, then my next question was, would you if there was an incentive? And then I discovered that, Toronto was offering composters for $25. That's an incentive.
Okay. So that's a good incentive?
Yes, it is. It's usually $80 or something for one of those composters. So they were highly subsidized.
Oh, wow.
And then the picketers were getting angry and they were shouting at me. I can't say what they said.
You could if you wanted, but if you don't swear, I understand.
I do swear, but they were quite, and I don't know, 20 years ago, I don't know where I got the nerve, the bravado to go and face an angry mob. I'm not sure, but I really feel on purpose. I think this is something so important.
Yeah.
And when you know something and you're like, this is just what we need to do, but people don't understand yet.
Yeah.
So that's been my journey. So my journey has been educating people about the idea. When I speak, people are like, that's so great. What a great idea. And then they're like, oh, worms in the house.
Yeah. But I think that it makes sense. And if you have a system for people in their home, I think that, I think there's a lot of people that talk about being aware of their environment and trying to make a difference, but I don't know how many of them I really truly believe are trying to make a difference. And so, like I told you before, I'm sharing this with a lot of friends and family because, I know that we actively do things to repurpose and try to reduce our carbon footprint in the environment. I try to stay away from a lot of plastic. I try to stay away, I try to recycle. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference I'm making with recycling. And I actually get mad when people don't recycle, because at least you could try, at least you could try. And it's just like the person that throws garbage out their window when they're driving. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Or smokers, like if you smoke, that's fine, but don't flick your cigarette butts out the window.
Yeah, no. Ugh.
Like put them in the ashtray, right? Those are little toxic. They're toxic, and then they go in our waterways. And well, okay, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. So
I think, Deanna, it's really important that people take responsibility for what they're doing, but pick something. The environment is so big, like the water's broken, the air's broken, we have so much garbage, our food's broken. So pick an area that speaks to your heart and focus there and just do work there and talk to everybody about what they can be doing.
Yeah.
And then it's, as we band together, we're like, oh, I'm doing this. What are you doing? Okay. Oh, I can do that too. Good.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love it. And so since you started this, how many people have you gotten involved and have jumped on your movement to use your worms and your composting systems and all that good stuff?
I have just about 10,000 customers. I know, thank you. I know, so much.
Awesome.
But thank you. Yes. But when I started, I would, again, when you feel like what is right, what needs to be done, it's like, okay, here we do. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then I started to do exhibit at trade shows and home shows and farmers markets to educate people. And I thought, oh, this will be so great. People will, when I explain why we need this, people will just be buying. That's how it works. No, not really. People will get what they want, not what they need.
Right.
People need worms, but they don't want worms. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, how am I going to put worms in every space if people are afraid of worms?
Yeah.
And I started to do school workshops.
Oh, cool.
So now over 75,000 students have seen my presentation. And it's so beautiful. Like, the kids get it.
Yeah.
They get it. And they have so much fun. So having worms in the classroom is a beautiful lesson. They can watch the worms, they can learn about what they eat, what they don't like. And then the really important part, I started my business as a waste management tool, but in short order, I realized it's the material that the worms are creating,
Yeah.
black gold.
Right.
So they took this garbage, what we call garbage, and they turned it into worm poop,
Yeah.
which is so nutrient rich and ready for the plants to take up. So when plants are growing, the nutrients come out of the soil into the plant.
Yeah.
If we take those clippings and put them in the garbage or do anything other than composting, we're robbing the soil of those nutrients.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my aunt, she's got a huge garden, and she has compost piles, and I know she's gonna die. She'll want to watch this episode. She probably will reach out to you and want to talk to you, but yeah. And so when I go to help her, I'll help her with her garden. I have a very big family, so very family oriented. I'm the oldest of five. My mom's one of six, so that my aunt is my mom's sister, and so we all go over there and help her with her garden, and we get tons of great food and veggies and all that good stuff. But she called it her soil that was created from the compost piles is like the liquid gold. Yeah, or not the liquid gold, but is like gold, like what you talk about. And so when we would plant the new vegetables, she would put a little bit of that in there. She had her bunch of other concoctions that she made up, but she did put some of that soil from the composting into like when we planted the new plants. So what is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Ho, 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 ladies. The holidays came early, not only for you, but for your man here at Manscaped, the leading men's hygiene brand. Manscaped just launched new products that your man will actually use, including their all-new ultra premium body wash and a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Also, this awesome refined cologne. It smells so sexy. My man loves it. I love him wearing it, especially after he's all clean shaven, using the lawnmower 4.0 and trimming those nasty nose hairs and those ear hairs. You know what I'm saying, ladies? It's time to give the man in your life the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Go to manscaped.com and use the code LABELFREE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's right, ladies, 20% off and free shipping with the code LABELFREE20 at manscaped.com. I have a question. How long does it take from, like, if you're going to put the food, and I probably should have asked this before, the food and maybe like paper into the composting with the worms, how long does it typically take them to break that down, to turn it into the black gold, as you call it?
So, like, there's a lot of factors: temperature, moisture, particle
Okay.
size. So, a lot of factors. But the guideline is from setup to harvest, it's about 3 to 5 months.
Okay.
It's a process.
For sure, for sure. Well, just like anything, it's
Yeah.
all. If we're not following processes every day, then I don't know what you're doing. You're like this, flying it in the wind. I don't know. You actually have some other very cool things that you do. Do you want to shift gears, unless you want to add a little bit more about the composting, the worms, and all that good stuff?
No, let's segue. My working title is Cathy, Crawly, Laughing Bean Queen. The Crawly part, we talked about the worms. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Laughing, I'm a laughter yoga teacher, and that came about because I was getting discouraged, 19 years. Oh, I think it was maybe 2013. I was like, one more person said to me, "Ew, worms in the house." And I was like, how am I going to put worms in every living space if people are still saying "ooh"? If you're thinking "ooh" when you're hearing worms, you're not listening. You're just like, la 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 la,
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah.
That's not for me, right? You're not
Yeah.
even reading the article. You're not listening to the podcast. You're like, worms. Oh no, not for me.
Right.
Okay.
Sure. Sure.
So I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should just get a job.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
how
No.
could I?
No fun.
Who would hire me? Okay. So I was at a business meeting, and the first speaker gave a 5-minute introduction to laughter yoga. I don't even do yoga. So I was like, laughter yoga, what's that? Oh, I like laughing. So
Mhm.
it was kind of neat. that same week I was at a business event, a networking event, and there was hundreds of people. The very first woman that I met was a laughter yoga teacher.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Wow.
So
And I was
that's kind of like that synergy.
yeah, to me, I'm like twice in 1 week. I said to her, laughter yoga is mainstream in 2020, that was 2014. So she said, no, it isn't. We trooped around that whole night, asked everyone that we met, have you heard of laughter yoga? Have you heard of laughter?
Yeah.
And nobody had.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I decided, okay, I really like this. So I decided to get trained. I became a leader, and I like that so much. I became trained as a teacher. So now I teach other people to be laughter leader.
Huh?
And laughter is the best medicine, Deanna. And I think for the time that we're in, I was put on earth to tell people about the worms, like to really raise awareness about this
Sure.
beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do anything, when you're on a mission, it's really important for self-care, like to look after yourself. So
Yeah.
then put your own mask on when you're in the airplane, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can look after the others. Same idea. So I really needed to look after myself. I was getting discouraged, getting beaten down. And then laughter. So now laughter came to me. I laugh every day. And here's some fun things. I know you said you went to the gym, so you're a fitness person.
Yes, I am.
So laughter is the best medicine. It's scientifically proven. 10 to 15 minutes of sustained belly laughter is equivalent to 300 sit-ups,
Oh, wow.
30 minutes on a rowing machine. There's equivalent to jogging. I mean, there's so many equivalents. 10 to 15 minutes of sustained, like where you're like, ha, 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 ha.
Mhm.
And so laughter yoga is not about jokes or comedy, right? Because that requires you to have a frontal lobe.
Yeah.
You don't have to be understanding. You don't even need to, like, I do a lot of work with long-term care with folks with dementia, with special needs folks. So jokes would not fly very well.
Sure.
So it's really just about, as the laughter leader, we have these games that we introduce, and the idea is just for people to laugh. So we have like milkshake laughter. So we would do, oh, we're going to make milkshake. So we just ask everyone, okay, so hold up your milkshake making things, and then you mix them together, whoop, 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 and then you drink it. Right. And so it's just like,
Yeah.
we used to say fake it till you make it, but then people were leaving the class saying, I felt fake because we set it up that way.
Sure.
And it isn't fake. I mean, we might be putting on the laughter. So we can live
It's an
without.
exercise. It's an exercise, and it's a tool to. So my grandmother, she really believed in laughter too, like as the best medicine. I remember when you said that. I remember she had like a picture, and it was a sign on the side of her refrigerator forever. It said, "Laughter is the best medicine." And I try to wake up every day and be joyful, and just
Okay.
tap into that joy. And I totally agree with what you're saying. But keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a series of exercises and breathing. And so, yes, we can live without food and water for a few days. We might be grumpy and uncomfortable, but we could do it. We can only live without oxygen for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Laughter forces us, right?
Yeah.
Right? We have to breathe. And our brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of our body as an operating principle, right? It's a machine,
Yeah.
the answering machine. Right? So when we're stressed, like during a global pandemic,
Yeah.
we're not breathing properly. So our body is not getting what it needs. For sure, our brain isn't.
Yeah.
Ever lost your keys, phone, glasses? And you're flapping around and you're like, I gotta go. Come on, where'd you put my keys?
Sure.
Right? As long as you're flapping around, not breathing, you're not going to find your keys in that state because
Yeah.
your brain is literally being deprived of oxygen.
That's
So you need to, so what you need to do next time you lose something, just stop, take a deep breath, laugh it off, ha 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 ha, and then apologize to everyone, and you'll find your keys. Or
well, luckily I live alone, so when I start getting tight like that, I don't have to apologize to anyone. But I have learned that, and now that I know that, and I didn't know that, like that, I need to just give my brain more oxygen, which makes total sense. I've learned just to, like, you know what, I'm just gonna let that go because it'll pop up. So,
Yeah.
and usually within, like, an hour or two, like what I was looking for, I
Pops
find
in.
it. Yeah. So So, but that makes sense though. Now I know just to like start laughing, like, ah, you're so silly, Deanna, you lost, you know?
Yeah, and laughing at ourselves, that's one of the exercises. You go, okay, everyone put your finger up. Everyone put one finger, and then you point at yourself, and then you start laughing.
Oh, I
Like,
laugh.
oh, I made that mistake. Whoops. Instead of beating ourselves up, which we do, we're like, oh, why did oh, no. And then we get into that downward spiral. We're like, oh, when we say bad things about ourselves, I'm such a bleh.
Yeah.
Don't just start laughing like, oh, ha 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 ha, because it changes everything. It changes your state. It changes your state. And so laughter's the best medicine. And I say, have you had your daily dose? DOSE. Yes, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins.
Oh, wow. There you go.
The love drugs.
Yeah. I might have to make that the title of this episode. Have you had your daily dose?
Oh, yes, do.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That would be really great. That would be really great. So you do a lot of positive things for the environment and for people. And so how long have you? I'm sorry, maybe I missed that part. But how long have you been a laughter yoga teacher?
So I became a leader in 2014, 2015, became a teacher in 2016, and I was appointed a laughter ambassador by the founder of Laughter Yoga in 2017.
Very cool.
So laughter yoga, let me talk about that a little bit. It was started in 1995 by a medical doctor in India.
Okay.
And his goal is world peace. Can you imagine?
Mm.
I want to jump on that train. Oh, I did. I'm a card carrying member.
That's awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, if we're all laughing together, Deanna?
Oh,
Oh my gosh, what
yeah,
a world.
yeah.
What a world. So we're doing laughter yoga in prisons
Okay.
with the inmates and the guards, with police forces, with schools. In India, they've got laughter yoga in the curriculum. Like, nobody's skipping that class.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm working now with teachers. I'm doing, like, everything's online now, but I'm doing laughter yoga with teachers, with Alzheimer's Canada. Just helping people, because a lot of people are struggling at this time.
Yes, they are. I know. It's
And when we're suffering, when we're struggling, we're in fear. So when we're in
Yeah.
fear, we're not breathing properly, right? And we can't come up with solution when our brain is not being oxygenated.
Bad, and if you're wearing that mask. Don't get me started on that. But how long is a laughter yoga class?
It goes anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes.
Oh wow, that's
And it's a cardiovascular workout.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Just because I bet that it's like quite the workout. I can only imagine because if you're working like breathing, because it's like breath work. Breath work is not easy because you actually have to sit there and you have to focus on that. And so if you're laughing and tapping into that part of you and creating all that breathing, that's intense. So before we start wrapping things up, Cathy, can you please let us know all your links where anybody can find you, maybe hire you, get more information about you, all that good stuff.
Yes, hire me, please. So my work website is cathyscomposters.com, Cathy with a C. My laughter page, you can find all of my offerings there. That's my main website. My laughter page is cathysclub.com if anybody's wanting the laughter. And I do a free 30 minutes laughter yoga every Tuesday morning, 9:30 Eastern Daylight,
Cool.
8:30 your time.
Yeah.
Come and check it out. It's 30 minutes on Zoom, and it's a beautiful way. My morning sessions are pretty high energy, as I'm pretty high energy. Actually, it's funny doing the evening ones, because evening laughter, I want people to kind of be calming down,
Right.
so
Sure.
that they can get ready for sleep. So it's more meditative, more, lots of deep breathing and kind of tapping and just getting into our body, where the day one gets you all revved up and ready to take on the day.
I might have to jump into that free class to check it out because I think that's
Yes.
amazing. Before I let you go, Cathy, and get back to your day, is there any last words of advice or wisdom or anything you'd like to share with the audience?
I would just like to encourage everyone to be gentle on themselves. Just be kind to yourself, be kind to your neighbor. We're all having this experience. We're not in it together, but it's a global thing, and just be kind, like good moments, bad moments, and remember to, as soon as we start smiling, we start secreting dopamine and serotonin.
That must be why I feel so good all the time, because I always try to smile. All right, Cathy, thank you so much for joining us today. You were an awesome guest. Even Athena thinks so. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.